Hello boys and girls, welcome to your second week of online school. Before we start our lesson, I'd like to share a Bible verse with you from Psalm 29. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as King forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Now what this verse says to me is that God is high above. He is the King. And he is in control, and he gives strength to his people. Welcome to your second week of online school. This is your first online art lesson. Now, because you're not at school, you are going to not have access to the resources I normally have for you. So you're going to be creating those resources, and you'll be a teacher. Yay! So we are going to start off slow. We are going to be working on a color wheel. The color wheel is made out of three primary colors: yellow, red, and blue. And you are going to be making the secondary color: orange, green, and violet. You are going to be creating and using the color wheel to learn about complementary colors. Now, what is complementary color? If after we created the color wheel, if you look on the slide, you will see it's a wheel. It's usually circle, and you will see that they're colored that is opposite of each other. For example, you see red. Opposite of red in the circle is green, and purple, the opposite color, will be yellow, and blue, the complementary color, will be orange. Now you're going to make the wheel, which I will show you in a few moments, and also be making a chart contrasting and complementing those colors. Now why is it important to have complementary color? Now complementary colors complement each other. They work together, they create a high contrast, especially when you want something to stand out. Now, this can be used, one color will be used as a background, while the other one would come out and be brought out from the background because the color contrasts. So, let's get started with making the resource. What you would need for this lesson is your hands, a piece of white paper. If you don't have access to white paper, you can use lined paper. Also color pencil, primary color, yellow, blue, and red. And secondary color, orange, green, and violet. So let's get started. We are going to begin with the color wheel, and we're going to write our name with a color pencil and write your class. Now to visually help us divide this paper into two halves, we're going to give it a crease line so you can just visually see it. To make the color wheel, I would like you to start off with just the primary color, because that way we can make the colors. We're going to begin with making a circle inside for the different color to go around the circle. We are going to start off with red. I'm going to make a circle here at the top for the red. And what's the next primary color? Yellow. We're going to go a third of a way through the circle and make another circle. And the last one, blue. You're going to go a third of the way, come to another spot, and make a circle. We're going to proceed to fill in the color. Remember, when you're filling in the color, we hold it a little bit higher, away from the tip of the pencil. And we use our wrist muscle to help us fill in the color. If you're doing the curve, make sure you move your paper so that your pencil can go around the circle. And yellow. And finally, back to the beginning, red. Now this whole exercise is to remind you of how to mix colors. Normally I have all these material, posted up in the art room. But since your classroom is at home, you're gonna make this for yourself. So next, we're gonna make the secondary color. To mix it, what we're going to do is put the color pencil on the color circle. Let's say I'm going to make the first secondary color, which will involve red and yellow. You can pick any one of the color and make a square between the two primary color. So I think most of you remember yellow and blue makes orange. We're gonna start with, I'm gonna stick with the primary color. We're gonna do a very light coat of yellow. Then we are going to put our red on. Now, we should always start off with adding the color lightly, and then slowly we'll add a little bit more. And you can even use color pencil to blend in. So here we go. I have my red. Seems a little strong and I don't see the orange yet. So I'm gonna go in, just add a little bit more yellow. And there's my orange. Next, let's see, we have red, yellow, and blue. So let's go to the next secondary color, yellow and blue. Make a square representing the secondary color. Do a light coat of yellow. And then a light coat of blue. Now I always like to kind of find a spot, the flat spot on my color pencil so I can blend it. There's my green. If you feel that, you need a little bit more yellow, you can always go back just like I did with the orange. Add a little bit more yellow and there's your green. You can always go back. There you go. Next, I have the last secondary color, blue and red. I'm going to make a square. Then I'm going to do it lightly. Now, violet is a trickier color to do, so do it lightly and you can always go back and add a little bit more color. Now, if you end up doing this, it will be very hard to make the color, so always go lightly and go back and add. Actually, sometimes I even like to go in a perpendicular direction. That way the color actually blends a little better. Oh, there's my violet. So there's your color wheel. Now you have completed 1/2 of your classwork. Now that you've finished your color wheel, you can write color wheel on here. Whichever color wheel. Okay, so you have your red, yellow, and blue. And then now you can take out your secondary colors and put them on. Green, violet, and orange. So you've made the primary and the secondary color. What we're going to do next is to create the complementary chart. What is a complementary colors? Now, I think I talked about that a little earlier. A complementary color is the pair of color that is across from each other on the color wheel. So what does that mean? If you look on your color wheel, from green, if you walk all the way across, you will see red, and that is the complementary color. So yellow, the complementary color will be violet. Blue, the complementary color would be orange. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a chart here. And to compare and see what it looks like when you put those two colors together. Let's try yellow and violet first. So to do this, we are going to make a square. And we're going to put 6 squares here all together. So space it accordingly. So I have yellow, and I'm going to take my violet. So I'm working with yellow and violet. So let's just keep those 2 color pencils out. And I'm going to make a big square of violet. Then, to visually create a contrast to compare, we are going to put the other color inside the square. So my yellow, the contrasting color is violet. I'm going to put a square inside. And inside the box of violet, I'm going to put a yellow box inside. I'm going to fill in the colors. Yeah, since I have my yellow, I'm just filling in the other box. Try to fill it in as best as you can. Now this time we would like the color to be more intense because you're not mixing color this time. Just using the primary and secondary color pencil right off. Alright, now I'm going to put in the violet. Do it there. There it is. So here is my first pair of complementary colors. So we're going to do the rest here. So what's the next one? Let's go with blue. So walk across from on the circle. What do you see? It's orange. So take out orange and blue. So I'm going to have a big square here. And the other side, I'm going to use orange. And on the inside, I'm going to put orange. And the inside, I'm going to do blue. So you will proceed to fill this in. Lastly, you are going to use red and green. What does red and green remind you of? Christmas. Let's start out with red and a big box for green. And the inside, and the inside of this, oh, very Christmassy. And you will proceed to color these in. So it's your turn to finish this off. All right, now that you have filled in all the colors, we're going to label it as well. Complementary color. So there's your teacher's resource for the day. There's the color wheel as well as the complementary color. If you want to, you can label the color that's been used to make the complementary colors. Now for those that would like to explore further, and if you have access, you can try making the same color chart using oil pastel. And you can post it on Seesaw once you are completed with the assignment. Now I expect to see this before the end of next day 5, which would be on the 19th of February. So until then, happy creating, and you guys are doing an awesome job. See you!